After months of waiting, Doctor Who Season 1, the first to star Ncuti Gatwa as the 15th Doctor, is just around the corner. There's so much to look forward to in this season, but here are the 10 things I am most excited for. So number 1 does of course have to be our new Doctor, Mr. Ncuti Gatwa, the 15th Doctor, who we have already seen at Christmas and a giggle before that, but nevertheless this is his first full season, a proper showcase for him, for us to see what he's about and to properly see him get his teeth into this role. Ncuti is just so charismatic, both on screen and off, and I'm sure he's going to be a very distinctive Doctor from everything we've seen so far. A slightly more energetic, kind of youthful Doctor. There's some bits in there that I have seen kind of classic series fans kind of raising an eyebrow at, like things like him now saying babe or honey or gimme the loving, stuff like that. But ultimately, I think he's a Doctor for our times. I think he's an inspired choice. He's the Doctor that we need in 2024. He's very cool as well, very stylish. We've seen his wardrobe or a glimpse of his wardrobe already. All these different costumes he's going to be wearing in the different episodes. And it's almost 2 years since Ncuti's casting was unveiled to us in May 2022, so it's been a long time coming, and I just can't wait to see more of this new Doctor. Likewise, I'm really looking forward to seeing more of Millie Gibson as Ruby Sunday, our new companion. Once again, we've met her already at Christmas, and that story ended with her kind of entering the TARDIS for the first time. But there's still so much to come in terms of her initiation into the world of Doctor Who and the world of the Doctor. Her first trips in the TARDIS, her first trip to the past, trip to the future. We've had a kind of glimpse already of what that might entail with the whole prehistoric thing with the butterfly effect, followed by a trip into the far future with this mysterious baby farm in Space Babies. And a new companion always allows us to see the show afresh. It's always really nice to see a new character kind of getting used to life with the Doctor and kind of seeing all their first reactions to things for the first time. Millie is relatively young as Doctor Who companions go, one of the youngest actors to be cast as a companion. So I think Ruby's going to have a real sort of youthful energy to her and sass to her as well from what we've seen at Christmas and in the trailers. And we've been told that her relationship with the Doctor is like that of two best friends, which I'm so excited for. I think it's going to be so electric and such great fun to watch. Season 1 will be the first season of Doctor Who, the first full season, to have the involvement of Disney, who are of course now the streaming partner for Doctor Who globally. And although the 60th specials did also stream on Disney Plus internationally, I'm pretty sure Disney's involvement in the actual production of Doctor Who actually started with Season 1. We've heard the show now has a bigger budget than ever before, and I definitely think that is something to be excited for going into this season. With the range of episodes, we've got an episode in the 60s, an episode in Regency England, we have Space Babies in the future, Boom in the future as well, Dot and Bubble and some kind of colony somewhere. And from everything we've seen already, from trailers and promo pics and stuff, it really does show on screen in terms of the production design, in terms of the sets, the locations, the vistas, the special effects, whatever it may be. Doctor Who has always been an incredibly ambitious show, and often there hasn't been enough budgets to kind of properly realise ideas to their full potential, but now that budget is in place, and so anything is possible, and that is really exciting. The bigger budget has also allowed for bigger guest stars than ever before, so of particular note are Jinx Monsoon in Episode 2, The Devil's Cord, and Jonathan Groff in Rogue. Both highly accomplished international stars in their own rights, and the fact that they are appearing in Doctor Who is kind of crazy. With Jinx, I think we are just not prepared for what we're about to witness with this character. Much like with Neil Patrick Harris in the 60th as the Toymaker, I think this character is going to be absolutely crazy and bonkers. We've already kind of seen some of the different outfits they're going to be wearing. And we know that Jinx can sing and dance as well. The Devil's Cord is going to be a very musical episode with all the Beatles stuff going on, so I'm expecting one hell of a performance there. And likewise, Jonathan Groff has been on Broadway. He can also sing and dance, and we've kind of seen some glimpses of that already in the Regency scenes where there's sort of ballroom dancing going on. Will he be singing? It remains to be seen. And on the subject of music, this season of Doctor Who looks set to be the most musical yet. The Devil's Cord has kind of all but been confirmed to be a musical episode of sorts, with at least one musical number. Again, we've kind of glimpsed that in the trailer with all the kind of singing in the rain stuff, and Ncuti there with his microphone, singing, and an orchestra in the background, and all sorts of stuff going on. We've got Jinx as Maestro, this kind of god of music. We know that Ruby also plays the piano, and she's in a band. And although nothing has been confirmed, there are kind of hints that maybe this musical approach won't just be limited to that one episode. I mean, this is kind of coming off the back of the 60th specials, and of last year's Christmas special, which literally featured the Goblin song, like a proper musical number. We also had the Spice Up Your Life sequence in The Giggle with the Toy Maker, so there is a bit of a precedent for this sort of thing. You know, Wild Blue Yonder was literally named after a song. So I wouldn't be at all surprised if there is more diegetic music and more sequences of music in other episodes. I mean, like I say, you know, Rogue appears to have some dancing scenes at least, but maybe there's more that we haven't seen yet. Now, Doctor Who is nothing without its monsters, and Season 1 is set to contain a rogues gallery of all new foes. So in the vein of Series 11 in 2018, we're not going to get any returning monsters or villains or anything, or so I've been told. That means lots of new monsters to look forward to and lots of new monster designs. In terms of the monsters we know about, there's the Bogeyman in episode 1, obviously we've got Jinx as Maestro in episode 2, whether or not Maestro has kind of foot soldiers or not, like other monsters, remains to be seen. We know nothing about the antagonist or antagonists for episode 3, Boom, and likewise Russell has described the monster in 73 Yards as the strangest Doctor Who monster yet. We have the big giant slugs in episode 5, Dot and Bubble, and some mysterious bird creatures and the mysterious Duchess in episode 6. And as for the finale, basically nothing is known, although we did hear from Russell that in a production meeting, the villain was mistaken for Poirot, so make of that what you will. Alongside all these new things and new characters, we will of course have some returning characters from the show's recent past. So we can expect to see Ruby's foster mother and grandmother once again, Carla and Sherry, alongside her mysterious neighbour, Mrs. Flood. Hopefully we'll get some more answers about her identity and quite what she's up to. All of the new unit regulars will also be returning, you know, so Kate Stewart, obviously a long-standing member of units, but also Mel Bush, who's now kind of joined their ranks. Shirley Ann Bingham, I think, will also be returning, that Colonel Ibrahim character as well, and Donna's daughter, Rose Noble, also seems to have got a job there since The Giggle. I'm very much looking forward to seeing more of all of those characters, particularly that new unit, so to speak. Season 1 will be the first full season of Doctor Who written by Russell T Davies in 16 years, with no fewer than 6 new episodes written by him, so 3/4 of the series. Some people have raised eyebrows at that, and you know, while it would have been nice to see more guest writers in there, there's no denying that Russell is a brilliant Doctor Who writer, and he's been away from the show for so long, he's bound to have lots of new ideas. He already seems to be incorporating lots of new and interesting things, like Welsh folk horror in 73 Yards, or a whole kind of Black Mirror style approach in episode 5, Dot and Bubble, with some commentary there. It remains to be seen exactly what the commentary is going to be, but I'm very intrigued. We're also going to have another big 2-part Russell finale, and he was always so good at that in his first era in terms of raising the stakes and really building to a proper climax and making it really exciting, having that cliffhanger in the middle, of course, as well. So that's going to be really, really great to see. Alongside him, we do of course have 2 other writers, or technically 3, so we have Stephen Moffat also making a return to the show for the first time in 7 years, since Twice Upon a Time, his final episode for the show, his final episode as showrunner. Now he's back in guest writer mode once again, writing episode 3, Boom, which looks to be a very traditional sort of Moffat chamber piece, where he takes one central idea, so namely the Doctor stepping on a landmine, and he kind of takes that to its extreme, and then some, and kind of really develops this simple idea into something very extravagant, and goes to really unusual places with it. We also have the rising partnership of Kate Herron and Bryony Redman writing episode 6, the Regency-based episode Rogue, the first new writers for the show since 2020, which is bonkers. Kate Herron has worked on Loki and Sex Education, so she in particular has formed there in terms of working on other kind of streaming platforms and streaming shows, and I can't wait to see what the 2 of them bring to the show. Last but not least, we have the story arc, or story arcs, and the return in particular of the Russell T Davies story arc. Once again, a feature of his first era, of all those series in his first era, you know, Bad Wolf, Torchwood, Vote Saxon, The Bees disappearing, all these things that were threaded through the episodes of each season and built something really amazing in the finale and kind of unexpected too. We've had some inkling of what the story arc, or story arcs for season 1 are going to be. We've had various plot threads left hanging, like the whole thing with Mrs. Flood and how she knows what TARDIS is, or the whole Mavity thing established in Wild Blue Yonder and continued in the church on Ruby Road, the whole thing with Susan Twist and her different characters as well, Mrs. Merridew, and the heckler in the pub at Christmas. This mysterious tech company, Triad Technology, as well, and also, of course, the mysteries surrounding Ruby Sunday and her heritage and her birth and her parents. How all these things fit together isn't exactly clear at this stage, but I get the feeling they're going to build something really exciting in the finale. What are you looking forward to in Doctor Who Season 1, and what are your predictions for these new episodes? Be sure to let me know down in the comments below. If you have enjoyed this video, please do leave a like, and subscribe to the channel if you're new for more stuff like this in the future. But otherwise, until the next one, thank you so much for watching, and goodbye for now.